So you want to get a six-pack, or maybe you've been hitting core a ton and you haven't been seeing the results like you've seen when you hit other muscle groups. Well, in this video, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about how to get that six-pack that just churns heads. So when getting a six-pack that really shows, one of the main factors is getting a low body fat percent. And then the other thing is to hit core to make sure you're getting those muscles stronger. But I promise, if you follow my tips and do everything I talk about, you will get a six-pack that shows. So my first tip is to do cardio, but make sure when you're doing cardio, you're doing it to burn fat. And there's two types of cardio. We have aerobics and then we have anaerobics. And both of them have their place, but let's look at them at the literal meaning. Aerobics means with oxygen and anaerobics means without oxygen. And in order to burn fat, you need oxygen, which means we want to do aerobics. But anaerobics has its time too because it can help build the metabolic state to burn fat. With that being said, we're going to hit both aerobics and anaerobics. So the first type of cardio I want you to do is aerobics, and we want to do about 20 to 40 minutes of just kind of endurance jogging. But we want to make sure we're doing aerobics for this. And a good test you could do is while you're jogging, make sure to close your mouth and try and breathe through your nose. If you're able to do that, you're likely in aerobics rather than anaerobics still. Or if you have a way to monitor your heart rate, take the number 180 and subtract your age from it. And then that's your maximum aerobic heart rate. You don't want to go over that heart rate, but you want to stay kind of near it and a little below because that's how you're burning fat optimally. Now let's take a look at that anaerobic workout that I'm telling you to do that will get you shredded. You probably already guessed it, and it's doing sprints. Sprints are a great way to promote lean muscle development. Basically what that means is you're gonna get shredded when you do sprints. And you've probably seen that whenever you see a short distance track athlete, they're always ripped. And if you wanna learn more about how to do cardio to maximize fat burn or learn how to do sprints properly, then check out my other videos teaching you how to do that. I'll put both the links in the description. And then we have the second factor, which is nutrition. You wanna eat a lot of nutrient dense foods. And that typically means you wanna avoid carbs because most carbs aren't nutrient dense. And of course you can find nutrient-dense carbs. There's sweet potatoes and there's nuts, but most of the carbs aren't nutrient-dense, so try and eat a lot of vegetables or meats or eggs. And tip 3 is to do a diet that builds a metabolic state to burn fat optimally. Now this is a little bit extreme for just trying to get a six-pack, but it will definitely get you a six-pack if you do it. Now there's two diets I have in mind that I always do when I try and get cut and get a six-pack showing. And the first one is a paleo diet, and the second one is a keto diet. The paleo diet offers a lot of flexibility, so you can try that out, and keto's a little bit more extreme. I'm not gonna sit here and say everyone should do keto because it's not a right fit. Keto requires that you make a lot of sacrifices that most people aren't ready to make, but it is one of the most effective diets for losing body fat. And the reason for that is because you're building the metabolic state for your body to use fats and form ketones and use those as a source of energy. If you want to learn a little bit more about those diets or how to do them properly, then make sure to check the links in the description because I have videos about those as well. And the fourth tip is intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting will help you lose a ton of body fat, which will help you get your six-pack showing. Not only this, but a lot of people that do intermittent fasting just feel way better. They have mental clarity, and it actually is going to help you live longer and a healthier life because you won't be prone to as many diseases. The thing is, a lot of people don't know how to do intermittent fasting right, or they read some information, they just assume it's right, but in reality, they'll start breaking their fast, so they're not being as effective as possible. So make sure if you're gonna do intermittent fasting to do some research and learn a little bit about it. And of course, I have videos about that as well. I'll leave the links in the description. So make sure to check it out if that's something that interests you. And then our fifth and final tip is to hit a lot of core. Like growing any other muscle, you have to make sure you're hitting that muscle group and getting it to grow. But the problem is when people start hitting core, they don't increase intensity, so they get to a point and they just don't see results. And what you want to do when you're building any muscle is always increase intensity, either by lowering your rest time or increasing the reps you're doing. And I can sit here and tell you that I hit this exercise for core or this one, but in reality, you should be looking at what part of your core you want to grow the most and then looking up some exercises that fit that. I know that it can be frustrating when you're trying to get a six-pack that shows and you're putting in the hard work and hitting a ton, but nothing's ever showing. But I promise you, if you follow the steps I just mentioned, you will get a strong six-pack that shows. And if you want to learn more about those tips, I have videos about them individually, which will give you all the information and tools that you need to do them properly. So make sure to check out the links in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. And I'll see you guys in my next video.